Mark, hello. Wonderful. So a few logistics to start. First of all, welcome and thank you for being here, for listening to that higher consciousness, to the truth of who you are that says, yeah, let's go sit in some truth. Let's go remember some foundational and fundamental dynamics of our human spiritual experience. We all know that most everyone's lost in the content of experience and in the content of their thoughts about the experience, their opinions and beliefs and ideas and conjectures. And these are all just formulated by a mind based on its database, on what it learned from mom, dad, life, school, media, its younger mind, the young mind that made up all manner of stories around the events of life from the perspective of a separate self, from the perspective of the illusion of a separate self. And here in Satsang, we get to come together. That is the song part of it, Satsang, Sangha. We come together in truth, Sat. To remember, to explore, to reconnect with the essential nature of our own being, with the essential nature of consciousness, the oneness that we all actually are, to reconnect with these truths. So thank you for being here. Another little logistic is if you are here on YouTube or Facebook, Satsang is available within the Oasis community. There's more. There can be more conversation around Satsang. There's the announcements and the reminders. But if you're on YouTube or Facebook and you wish to contribute, make any sort of a donation to Satsang, to supporting this platform, then you can do so. There's a link in the description, a donation link. So that's available there. So welcome all. Beautiful. So good to have you here. Last logistic. If you're in the Oasis and you're connected, ensure that you've used the Chrome browser to open the link to Satsang, because through the Chrome browser, it gives you the option to join in. If you have a question, I can pop you into the call, into the gathering, and we can dialogue. So that only is available if you've used the Chrome browser to open the link to this Satsang. And if you haven't and you want to, you can just jump in the Chrome browser and follow the link and join. And then chat. There's always a chat. I have it open here and I'll keep an eye on that as best as I am able to engage with questions, thoughts, reflections, anything that you wish to share. This is a place to share, to engage. All right, my friends. So again, for YouTube people, there's the opportunity if you'd like to donate, and there's a donation link in the description. But Satsang is offered into the oneness, from the oneness, for us all. So today, what's alive to speak about is, well, I'll tell you where this came from. So I had a couple here visit me in Bali from the United States, and we did a beautiful session. And in these sessions, we're pursuing how to live life with more grace. And grace simply means truth. So whenever you hear me use the term grace, I just simply mean truth. How to live life with our more authentic truth, with the essence of who we really are. How to navigate a life of decisions and choices and confusions and uncertainties and difficulties and joys and celebrations and disappointments and all just the full, beautiful, rich, dynamic life we get to live. How do we best navigate that? And what I found was there was a phrase that just kept coming up in relationship to, especially the gentleman that was in this couple that I was working with. And what I found was that his mind kept going to, I'm seeking answers. Help me make the right choice. Help me understand what's going to get me what I want best. Help me to simply be a better version of myself, to live this life with less suffering or confusion or difficulty and with more peace and love and wholeness. And he definitely recognized that he was not living from his truth. He was living from his story. And what became apparent was the only direction I could give him, which is what I'm offering today in Satsang, is that we think that we are seeking answers in how to best navigate this beautiful and often uncertain life. And the problem is we're seeking those answers and going to the mind or to even others and saying, help me find the answers in my own mind. Help me find the answers and wrap my mind around what are the best decisions that I want to make. And that's not what it's all about. So rather than seeking answers, the invitation here is to seek self. We're seeking wisdom, right? What's the wisest, most loving thing to do? What's the best thing to do in this situation or that situation, or in this relationship, or with that choice? What is the best thing to do? What is best for me? What will serve me best? And we have to understand that when we ask the ego, the construct of self, the conditioned self, the illusion of separation self, the personal self, those questions, it's going to answer, what is best for me? It's going to answer on behalf of itself, on behalf of the illusion. It'll say, well, I've learned that I need to be successful in order to be loved. Let's say that's part of the storyline. You'll ask the mind, what should I do in this situation? And it'll simply refer back to its own wounding, its own conditioning, its own sense of limitation. And it'll say, from my perspective, from the ego perspective, the best choice would be to do this, because that'll probably get you the love that you so crave or the validation that you so need. And it's navigating life on behalf of its construct. So the invitation here is not to seek answers, but to seek self. That's what this journey is about. That's what a journey of self-realization and the studies of non-duality are about. Who is the real you? What is the real you? The wholeness of your being, the spiritual dynamic of your human spiritual experience, your human spiritual makeup. The human part will drop away, the spiritual part remains. And in this life, usually the spiritual part is clouded, veiled by the personal self, the egoic construct. So sit with that for a moment. What if what you're really seeking, what if what we're all really seeking is not the answers to how to navigate life, but really what we're seeking is the true self, the higher authority, the consciousness of being. That's where we're going to find answers that serve the soul, that serve source, that serve love, not that serve the ego mind or the illusion of separation, personal self. If we seek to awaken and know and abide this essential nature of our being, which is a combination of pure consciousness filtered through an individuated soulful expression of that consciousness. And each soul is different, has different inclinations, different dharma, different karma, different ways of being, expressing, loving, feeling. And so when we seek that self, our essential nature, our ground of being, if that is awakened, if that is known, if that is present to be listened to be accessed with our questions, are we not going to get answers to what to do and where to go and what decision to make based on our truth, based on our soul? What is the thing to do, the move to make, the thing to say, the action to take that is in alignment, that is in resonance with divine love and my unique soulful expression of that love? And the ego will freak. The ego will say, wait a minute, you're not seeking any longer what will serve me. You're seeking this thing that the ego is like, I don't even know about it. You're seeking this thing. What do you mean self? I am you. The ego's like, no, I am you. No. You're saying, I hear you. I hear you. I hear your protestations. I hear your panic. I hear your fears. I hear your wounding. And we'll attend to that. But right now in my practice, in my meditations and satsang and these conversations, the only thing I am seeking, truly, is my authentic consciousness of being, my ground of being, because that will be the highest authority, the most reliable guide to answer all the questions that you have. And then we can stop worrying about each individual question. Am I getting it right? Am I getting it right? Am I getting it right? And the only question becomes, am I abiding my essential self? Am I abiding the peace of being, the stillness of being, and my soul's inclinations and flavors and ways of navigating this temporary human life? Am I abiding that? Because that will give you all the answers that you need. So that's what most people aren't doing. They're not paying attention to the most important thing you can answer in this life is, who am I really? That's the question above all other questions. So I'm curious with any questions that are arising even as we're entering into this. Because I remember in my first introductions to this type of language and way of seeing, It was easy to get lost. It was easy to go, wait, what do you mean by essential self? Wait, what? What do you mean who I really am? What do you mean by the self that I think I am is not who I am? It's who I think I am. Remember, the ego is not an actual thing. There's no thingness to it. It's activity of mind. That's what it is. It's a complex storyline that we've built over a lifetime based on things we've learned, which are mostly false. Mike, hi, Mike. Good to see you here. Can the authentic self be wrong? Or is truth absolute? Not sure how to word it correctly. Thank you. Yeah, that's great. You can pop into the call too if you'd like, Mike. Otherwise, the chat is okay. From the perspective of consciousness, which is the highest aspect of our being, the oneness that then individuates through a soulful expression. From that oneness, from that consciousness of being, there is no wrong. It doesn't, that question doesn't even arise. If you feel into it for yourself, Mike, like you ask, wait, who's worried about getting it wrong? What would wrong mean? And from the ego perspective, from the personal self, it's like, well, it's clearly wrong because it's not what I wanted. It's clearly wrong because it created a difficulty for me. Consciousness is always allowing. Hello, Mike.
Hey, Chess. Thanks
Very
for
good to
speaking
see
on that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So consciousness, my friend, who you are, the layers of self, right? Waking up out of the personal self, recognizing this is a vehicle of body, mind, ego. And we get lost in that. Typically, we get so lost in that the whole spiritual nature of our being is unknown, confusing, feels distant, feels like otherworldly even. We got life totally upside down. Like the thing that we mostly are not is who we actually think we are. And the thing that we absolutely are is the thing that we look at and go, what? That's weird. I don't know, that's for hippies, man. That's for all you woke people, you know. So we got it upside down. But from the perspective of consciousness, your wholeness of being, ask that question too, because I know you know this self, even though it may come in sparks and it may be nascent and it hasn't fully established itself as in your awareness. But you do know it. I know that. Ask that self that question. What if I get it wrong?
Yeah, there is no wrong because it's absolute. You know, when you ask something that is just, that is,
Yeah.
there is no right or wrong. That's why it was a tough question to ask, because I think of it in terms of other people. It's like, well, if I know it's absolutely true, no matter what, like at the soul level, really doesn't matter much what anyone else thinks, because it's truth. So I'm just wondering if in your experience, like when it's so absolute and other people have opinions, it's like, oh, that's nice, that's okay, but for me, this is true. I think that's where my question was originating from. It's just handling yourself with this absolute truth, regardless of circumstances or others or whatever.
So let's make sure that when we're speaking of absolute truth, that we're speaking as closely as we can to the direct experience and not to concepts, right?
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your isness of being, your essential nature of being. If you had no story, if you had no Mike story, if you had no past, no conditioning to work through, to dismantle, to deconstruct, if you didn't have any of that, tell me about what remains.
This moment.
And in this moment, what is the essence of your experience in this moment?
Just being.
And tell me about the being.
Sorry, I have to move.
So take a moment. We'll let you move first and then.
Okay, thank you.
So drop into the heart, just, again, using this beautiful ability to imagine things. Imagine you have no Mike story. You have no conditioning that's getting in your way. You have no programming to battle. You have no voices that have any authority whatsoever. They may still be there, but they have no authority in guiding you to make sure you're safe, make sure you're loved, make sure you get it right. If all of that is gone, you still exist. Is that correct?
Yes.
And is that your direct experience right now, that you exist?
Yes. There are stories, but yes.
There are stories, but yes, perfect, exactly. There are stories, but they come, they go, they're different, they shape different ways, different days. Therefore, they really are not absolute. They're just the egoic conjectures about everything. And that'll continue to happen for a bit. It's the only self we've ever known for most of our lives. So that's there. It comes, it goes. What doesn't come and go?
Consciousness.
Being. And what is your direct experience right now of that being? Tell me about it.
When I drop in, it's just a vast awareness.
Anything else you can say about it? What's your experience of it? Those are descriptions, and those are good. And I'm asking you to do something that's basically impossible, but we're going to kind of do our best to just still speak about it as best you can.
It's a place that I'm residing in that is already there.
Okay, good. So let's pause that and look at that statement and see if you can rephrase it. It is a place I am residing in. Is that true?
No, but that's how it feels.
Yeah.
I'm not it yet, or I haven't realized I'm it, or have done enough work to become one with it. That might not be true, but that's just how it feels in this moment.
Okay. Tell me about it.
It's the unnameable. It defies words.
Tell me about the experience of it.
Like the bottom of the ocean or a well, this vast holding of all things.
Has it ever been, even though you may not have known it, has it ever been absent?
No.
And boy, you knew that right away. It has never been absent. Then how can you, so now address your doubt about being it. It's the one thing that's never come and gone, right?
Yeah.
Beautiful. So if you took the I that then resides in this place and take the I out of it and allow the placeness just to be the one absolute truth of being. Do you feel that?
Yeah.
It's not a place. It's what is revealed when the story can calm a little bit, but it's always there, and it's always of it. You don't go there. It's always there because it's you. It's the one thing that is you.
Yeah. It's hard to grasp.
Yeah, it's hard to grasp, and the one that has a hard time grasping it, don't worry about that.
But it's easy
Just go back to the being.
Yeah, it's easy to know, hard to grasp. So
Yeah.
I think more knowing and more being.
Perfect. Who would be grasping for it?
Oh, the mind.
So don't worry about grasping any longer.
Got it.
Rest in the being. Come to rest in the ground of being, and that's it.
Okay.
Okay.
I can work on that.
It is also not something that, what did I write here the other day? Oh yeah, it's not something that you come to, or that comes to you. It's not something that comes to you, because then if it comes to you, now you're trying to hold on to it to keep it from going away. If it came to you, then maybe it can go away. So if you're seeking anything that is coming to you, or even being created, then you're in the conundrum of needing to hang on to it and keep it from going away. So it's not a place you go. It's what you already are.
A lot to think about.
Now, be with that. It's not so much thinking about it, but just allowing it. Because you know it, you felt it, you feel it. It's there. Yeah. And then the mind goes, yeah, but is it really? No, just watch it. Just don't even try to figure it out anymore. Just go to the feeling and abide that.
Got it.
Okay. Now, in that abidance, your question was, can the authentic self be wrong? Does it worry about wrong? What does wrong mean?
That's up here. No. It doesn't
allowing.
Worry.
Sit with the word allowing, my friend. The wholeness of your being that is not limited by the idea of a personal self. Is not, it allows everything. Because it's never diminished, is it?
No.
It's never diminished. The sky doesn't allow some weather and disallow other weather because some of the weather is really shitty and some of the weather is better. So it's not constantly struggling with what am I going to allow or not allow. This weather's wrong, this weather's right. This is the freedom.
Thank you.
Yeah, it allows, is what Mike was bringing up, is just to recognize the one that's so worried about getting it wrong. It's saying, what if I get it wrong and I am no longer well served? And that's the ego saying, what if I don't get my goodies any longer? What if I screw up and I now create difficulties? The pure love of being meets all difficulties and pivots and makes a new choice and moves in a little bit different direction. But it doesn't say I am diminished until I get it all right, and then I will no longer be diminished, because then, great, get it all right. But now you're going to be in the activity of clinging to don't change, don't change, don't change. And then that situation will start to change, and that relationship will start to change, and that person will stop loving me in the way that I want to be loved. And now I'm resenting that person and hating that and battling that, and I'm back in the struggle. Great question, Mike. That's huge. All right. Another comment. And this is a beautiful comment by somebody I've been in dialogue with who's exploring this dynamic. I'm confused when you say we exist even without our stories, because isn't we the stories, the ego? And doesn't it die when the physical body dies? And that's been the question, right? For a long time. This is the dialogue we've had going back and forth. And maybe you can start to see that the struggle and the confusion and the uncertainty and the angst and the edginess of everything is all held around the idea that there's nothing beyond the experience, the temporary experience of body, mind, and ego story. And I ask this question often in my work with people, who, if you're 50 years old, I'll say 51 years ago, did you exist? And they might say, no, I did not. I did not exist. There was no self, no essence of being until I came into this human form. And therefore, if I walk out the door today and get hit by the proverbial bus and die, that's the end of me. And we can start to see how that causes such struggle. Because basically what it's saying is, then in order to know true peace, the only place I can find peace is within this mental and emotional experience. And it won't stabilize. But that's the conundrum. If I can tell you this, if you ascribe to the idea that there is only body, mind, and ego story, and that's all there is, and you also want to know true peace, can't have it. And I think you'll find in your direct experience that's pretty much true. Because if all you are is body, mind, and ego, you're going to be constantly trying to get the external world and your own emotional dynamics that are really rife with a lot of conditioning and stories and programming. You're going to try to get all of that to chill out, to stabilize, and to be beautiful all the time. Or to be at peace all the time. And I think it doesn't happen. So we exist without our stories, meaning that our stories are veiling, are co-opting, covering, obscuring the pure truth of our being. If you were to go out into a snowy field and put on orange-colored glasses, you would never see the truth of the whiteness of the snow as long as you had the glasses on. You couldn't. You just could not. It is until you take the glasses off that you can see that the snow actually, you can see what white really is. You can see what white snow really is. You hear all these people talking about white snow and you're going, I don't know. The snow I look at looks like the same color as that, orange over there. And they're saying, oh, no, the orange is completely different color than the white snow. That's completely different. And you can't see it. You're like, I don't know what you're talking about. And they're like, take your glasses off. Like, no, they're me. This is me. This is how I see the world. Take them off. Oh. So I hope that's helpful. But I know it's a little bit harsh, but it's the best answer I've ever been able to come up with, which is if you truly believe that all you are is the body, mind, and ego story, construct, idea of self, and you want to know true peace and really stable, grounded, authentic love, you can't, because you're going to be filtering everything through conditioning. And then all of your love will be conditional. I can love that. I can't love that. I don't love that. Why? Because, everything I've learned about that tells me that that is unlovable. So you'll always be struggling to love authentically because everything will be filtered through your mind's database of stories and ideas and programming and conditioning. I hope that helps. I know this is an ongoing dialogue for you, and that's the best thing I can offer, is perhaps allow, perhaps explore. And this is good in meditation. If you stopped thinking altogether, would you disappear? If you had 10 seconds in a meditation of no thinking, would you disappear? When you fall asleep at night and you dream of being chased by a tiger, that's your mind creating story. And while you're in that story, somebody would say, is there any other reality? And you'd say, no, all there is me and the tiger. That's it. That's all there is. And yet that wouldn't be true. You wake up from that dream, you wake up from the storytelling, and you realize, oh my God, there's a vastness of being. There's a whole other reality that had fallen into a dream and gotten lost in the dream and believing that that's all there was. Mark. I love what Ram Dass says, I am loving awareness. Yeah. And he would sometimes say, I am unconditional loving awareness. I am. So here's a beautiful meditation. Take a moment, please, if you're here and present in satsang, take a moment and slow down and become present. Don't multitask. And go to the thought, I am, and then follow that up with any sort of gender identification. I am a man, I am a woman, I am trans, I am neither. Either way, just go to the thought, I am, and then we're going to add a definition. So I am, man, woman, other. And now go to the experience that thought refers to. So I'll give you an example. If I sit and I say, I am a man, and then I go to the experience that thought refers to, I go to the experience of being a man, and then I've got questions. Am I a good man? What is a man? Am I a real man? Am I a strong man? Am I a good man? Am I a loving man? So when I go to the definition, I look at all of its qualities. Okay. And now go to the thought, I am either a son or a daughter. And now go to the experience that that thought refers to. Go to the experience of being a son or a daughter. Now go to the thought, I am, and add whatever sort of career or job position or role that you want. I am. And then add a role regarding job or career. And then go to the experience that that thought guides you to. Am I good at what I do? Am I bad? Am I seen? Am I validated? Am I accepted? Is it the right thing for me? Am I doing the right job? Etc., etc., etc. And now go to the thought, I am either a partnership of some degree. I am a friend, I am a wife, I am a husband. I am a father, I am a mother. So I am, and choose a role that you play. And then go to the experience that that thought refers to. And you will find that by going to the experience that the thought refers to, there's activity, there's emotional activity, there's maybe activity of some constriction or expansion. Oh, am I good at that? Am I not good at that? I could be better. I need to be better. Maybe there's some shame around some of it. Maybe there's a sense of grandiose nature around some of it. But you'll find that your experience kind of fluctuates as you feel into the experience of playing a role. I am mother, father, career. And now go to the thought, I am. And that's it. Don't add any qualifier. Just go to the thought, I am. No qualifier, no definition. And now go to the experience that that thought refers to. I am. Prior to any story. I am without any qualifier, without any limiter, without any definition. Just the experience of I am. Do you exist without a story? Is there an I amness? Is there an I that is not limited by a personal experience? and I am that. Abiding that, trusting that, knowing that allows us to then some days be a good father or a good mother or a good husband or a good wife or a good son or a good daughter, and other days screw it up, not do such a good job, and not have our identity so wrapped up in our sense of worth or value or lovability wrapped up in making sure we get it all right, that we do it all correctly. I am gets to behave in all manner of ways. You're always going to do your best to be loving, to be kind, perhaps, to be a good human version of yourself. But self-love means to know yourself as pure love, to abide the I amness, the love, the essential nature of your being, to abide that which is love. And rest in that ground of being so that you can have your full human experience and love all of it. Not judge it, not feel the shame, embarrassment, what others think. Love it all. I love my confusion. I love my pain. Because when I can love it, I can accept it, I can welcome it, I can learn from it, I can transcend it, I can understand where it came from, and I can heal. I can't heal pain if I don't love the pain in the first place. It'd be like a child coming to you with some dynamic of being unruly or not the best version of themselves. And imagine saying to that child, you're not the best version of yourself, so I've stopped loving you. And as soon as you're back to being the best version of yourself that I have deemed as worthy or good, then I will love you again. But every time you slip out of that, of being good, acceptable, I'm going to stop loving you. What does a hurt child, a pained child want? Love. To know that they're loved. So they can work through whatever they need to work through. Held with acceptance and love. And we learn to do that for ourselves when we come to rest in the ground of our being, which is love. Welcoming all the dynamics of the human experience. Getting it wrong, getting it right, making mistakes, excelling, succeeding, failing, falling down, all of it, all of it, all of it. Rudyard Kipling says in his poem, if we can meet both our triumphs and disasters and treat them both as the imposters that they are. Our triumphs and disasters do not define us. They're a part of the human experience, but they do not define our being, which is love. Okay. A couple more comments here. Thank you, Mike. Thank you for your guidance. I become absorbed in awareness when I'm not thinking in meditation. Yeah, I mean, quiet the mind, open the heart, right? Quiet the mind, open the heart. The heart's there. It's like the flower trying to grow up through the concrete of thinking, of the construct of mind. And when the construct of mind is seen as construct, it's just saying stuff. It's just regurgitating what it's learned, its thoughts, its beliefs, its judgments, its opinions. When those are relaxed, the flower of our being, which is there, can be known, can blossom, can be revealed. Quiet the mind, open the heart. Come to rest in the stillness, which is what Mike was talking about, until you come to recognize yourself as the stillness. The stillness isn't a place you go. The stillness is the essential nature of consciousness, of your being. Yeah, and then I love this comment. Thank you very much. I don't necessarily believe we're only that, the body, mind, ego, but this stuff is confusing. Yeah, it is for a little bit. Hence, staying in the studies. And you keep coming back. So that's telling me that there's something in you that is wanting to relax, to let go, to come to rest. Inquiry is incredibly important. Who am I really? I'd recommend what Mike and I did, which was to start, to sit and imagine, what if I had no story? What if there was no definition of self? What if I was playing no roles? What if I wasn't trying to be better, to be good, to get what I want, to make this happen, to make that happen? What if all trying stopped? Sitting in a meditation in a moment, would I still exist? What is the essential nature of being when I remove all of the antics and actions and activities of trying and doing and seeking and striving and clinging and resisting? In absolute stillness, do you still exist? And then what is the nature of that beingness? Don't try to figure it out. Just give yourself some direct experience of stillness as best you can. Beautiful. Yurish, yes, I'm finding journaling to be helpful. Yeah, right? If we don't get our thoughts to flow, if we can't see them in front of us, we often don't know what they are. They're happening, but we put them on paper, we can see our own thought processes. We can see our delusions, we can see our illusions, we can see our truths, we can write out what's happening within us. That's what journaling is. Journaling is writing out what is happening within the emotional, mental experience and spiritual experience, so that we can be with it, contemplate it. Write something out and look at it and go, well, that's bullshit. Wow, that's wild. Yeah, look at my fear. Write out my fear. What am I afraid of? Who's the I that's afraid of that? Who am I really? Is the essential ground of being afraid of this thing? Am I not truly the ground of being? Am I the one who's afraid? Or is that just a construct of mind that I can be with as love? So we get to write that out. And because until you're more skilled at it, until you're in a long-term study where this is all just, you don't need to write it out as much. It's all just abided. It's all more stabilized. The awakened consciousness is always present in the background of all experience. Until then, write it out so you can see it. You can see the different stages and structures and ideas and thoughts and illusions and truths, and you can start to hold them a little bit more. You can start to understand them a little bit more and see how it all fits together. And you're just giving voice to what's going on in the mental, emotional, and spiritual experience. So yeah, Yurish, journaling is amazingly helpful. A lot of people won't journal because, well, a number of reasons, but one of them is because they don't want to face the truth. Because journaling allows you to say, what's going on? What's the truth of what's going on in here? And a lot of people don't want to journal because they're like, I don't want to see that. Because they haven't come to rest in love. Love would say, no, it can come up. I don't hold shame any longer. The I, the true I am, isn't ashamed of the human experience. It allows all dynamic of the human experience, and I'm never shamed by any of it. But the ego often doesn't want to journal because the ego doesn't want to be honest about its confusions and uncertainties and limitations. And, I was journaling this morning and just looking at, are there still ways that I'm hiding? Are there still ways that I'm protecting myself? This is my ego from rejection. Are there ways that I could shift my way of being in the world that are even more in alignment with my wholeness of being, with my grace of being? And it was wonderful to be able to look and say, yeah, I think I'm still hiding in some of these ways, and just be with that and explore it. Because shame dropped years ago. There's no value in shame. I get to have a full human experience. I get to be a human. I get to have the human experience and find value in all of it. So yeah, journaling. Most people won't journal because they don't want to actually see in front of them the truth of what's going on within them. The other reason people don't often journal is because it's weird. It's just as if somebody's going to read it. Like, what if I get it wrong? What if I write? What if I'm confused? What if I don't know what to write? What if I write stupid stuff? Okay. So write stupid stuff until the writing shifts into more clear, cogent, thoughtful stuff. Journaling is a real act of self-love. Mike, I just don't know where to start with journaling. I would love to, but don't know what I am doing. Okay. So in the Beyond the Noise course that's available, there's a whole exercise on journaling. I think within the Oasis, if you go to the search function in Oasis and type in journal, you might find something there. But I'll give you a very simple exercise right now. It just gets the juices going. It gets you going. Okay, there's a lot around this. All right, couple of things. First, you could simply start by, what do I feel? I feel confused. I feel stuck. I feel afraid to write. I feel like I don't know what the hell's going on. Okay, I guarantee you just write that, you're going to start to, why don't I know what's going on? What's happening? Am I in my practice? God, I haven't been in my meditations for a while. Why haven't I been doing that? Oh, because just see what comes out. So you just start with, what do I feel? Another one is, if you're in the Oasis, you have access to my emotional vocabulary builder. And if you download that, you've got a whole bunch of words that are feeling words. How am I feeling? Befuddled, confused, uncertain, afraid, stuck, joyous, blissful, hopeful, dynamic, alive, free. You've just got all these words to play with. So you could print that out and have that tucked into your journal and just pull it out each day and say, how do I feel? And look at this emotional vocabulary builder and say, ooh, I feel, and some of the words are fun. Like I feel, befuddled. Like, well, wow, what does that mean? Let me write about that a little bit. So that's one. Or two. First of all, just what do you feel? Then use the emotional vocabulary builder to print that out and play with that. And then here's a direct exercise. Take a piece of paper, draw a line down the center of the paper. In the top of the left column, write more/embrace. On the top of the left column, write more/embrace. And on top of the right column, write less/let go. Less/let go. And then start to write below either and both columns. What do you want more of? And I recommend not doing external. I want more money. I want more acknowledgement. Although those can be valuable to write as well. But I want more peace. I want to know more love. I want more authenticity. I want more compassion. And then that's going to guide you automatically to the other side. I want less judgment. I want to let go of judgment. I want less struggle. I want to start to let go of that. And then you start to write about, wait, am I really wanting to let go of my struggle? No, I want to meet my struggle. I want to allow my struggle. I want to be with my struggle. Well, what does that mean? How do I be with my struggle? So the list is just a way to start some journaling exercises. What do you want more of? to embrace? What do you want less of, to let go? See what comes up, and then do some long form journaling around your thoughts, feelings, curiosities, questions around what is coming up in your list. And even then, people will still not journal. And all I can say is write, just write, just write. It doesn't matter what you write. Just keep writing, keep writing. Give yourself, if you're in that space where, nope, I just can't do it, then set 10 minutes and just write for 10 minutes and don't stop writing. And even if you're writing, I don't know what to write. I don't know what to write. I'm so confused. I hate journaling. Journaling's stupid. I don't know what's going, whatever. Just keep writing, keep writing, keep writing, keep writing, keep writing. Because again, the ego self will say, I don't want to journal because I don't want to see the reality in front of me of what's really going on. I don't want to admit it because I will hold shame around it. I don't want to admit it because I'm embarrassed by it, because it scares me. And you start to see the value of coming to rest in our wholeness of love, because then we can allow ourselves to look at, oh yeah, I can look at what scares me. I can look at what I am screwing up around. I can look at where I'm falling down on the job without worrying about it, without shame. It's all allowed. It's all loved. It's all loved. It's all loved. I hope that's helpful. I find writing slows things down. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? That's good. I can only write one thing at a time. My mind is all over the place. Yeah, isn't that really? Yeah, that's a beautiful point you reached. That's so true, right? Like, because if we're just trying to navigate life by what's going on in the head, we can, one thought's there and then it leads to another thought, and then where'd that first thought go? I didn't even flesh that out. I never really even pursued that. I'm already over here. And then as soon as I have that thought, the ego mind goes, oh my God, but what if? But if we do that, then what if, and what if, and I don't know, and we're all over the place. And when you're journaling, you can write out a thought and then look at it. What do I think about that? Is that true? What are the consequences of that? What do I want to do about that? What would love do? So yeah, it slows everything down. That's a beautiful point, Yurish. Yeah, it allows for clear reflection and inquiry. Absolutely. See, this is the beautiful thing. We just start to see more and more that when we come to rest in the ground of our being, we have the courage, if you will, because kur means heart. We have the wholeheartedness, the truth of love available that is willing to explore and discover and be honest. The courage to be honest. The ego will often not have the courage to be honest because the ego doesn't want to, it doesn't want to see the shadow. It doesn't want to see the difficult parts, the failure parts, the struggle parts, because it has a story that it is not worthy if it contains inadequacy. And that would be, again, like the parent saying to the child, anytime you come to me with inadequacy, I'm going to shame you. I'm going to tell you you're bad. Fix your inadequacy, get better, be perfect, and then I'll start loving you again. Like, that would not be a healthy parent-child relationship. So we come to rest in the grace of our being and the love that we are, knowing that that is unwavering and untouchable and unblemished. And that love can explore our entire human experience without being afraid of it. And Mike, this is extremely helpful. Thank you. Yeah, this is why we have satsang. This is why I encourage you. Stay in the conversations of consciousness. Stay in the inquiries. Who am I really? Wake yourself up from the dream. And when you get lost and you find yourself wrapped up in the content of experience, come back to your studies, come back to your meditations, go take a bath, light some candles, go for a walk, go to the oasis and engage in some conversation. Bring yourself back to conversations of truth. Bring yourself back to explorations of truth. And if you don't know how to do it, and most people don't, I've got a course. I've got an entire course called Beyond the Noise, Living Beyond the Noise. And it's overly full. I'm doing some editing because I realize it's way too much content. But currently it is absolutely packed with content, lessons, discoveries, explorations, meditations, perspectives. And it's a study course. If you want to truly, truly wake up beyond the struggle of the personal idea of the personal self, the illusion of separation, Living Beyond the Noise course is a comprehensive, powerful study program that you could study for years. And you just set aside a little study time. I used to take a beautiful bath with a piece of plywood over the bathtub where I'd put my laptop and I'd have the candles lit. And I would just study consciousness. So you can study my YouTube videos. You can study the course. That's really the way to go, is go to chessedwards.com, check out the Living Beyond the Noise course, and get that for yourself. And you'll have a study course that you can study, you can tap into for years in this journey of learning who you really are and how to abide that and how to meet all the egoic protestations and struggles that come up along the way. So the theme for the day: recognize you're probably, like most people, seeking answers to how to act, behave, make the right choices. And pretty much the authority that you're going to, the guide that you're going to, is your ego. What should I do? How should I act? What's the best thing to say or do? And the egos can only give you answers based on what will serve itself. It's only giving you answers based on its own limited sense of self. It's answering you. It's saying, yeah, what will serve me, who it thinks is you, who you think you are? What will serve that self? And it's hard to make authentic choices because the ego is always looking, going, oh, did we make the right choice? What if we've got the wrong choice? Because it feels threatened by abandonment and rejection and not being seen and not being validated. Because the ego mind still believes that the source of love is out there, that the source of worthiness is in the opinion and eyes of society and others, and mom and dad, friends, and relationships. It doesn't know how to source love and peace and wholeness from within, from going to the already present love and peace and wholeness that we already are and always have been. So we are seeking answers from a false prophet, right? I have not studied the Bible, but I know that when I was young, it just pissed me off. I didn't understand. It just felt like a bunch of rules and not real wisdom. And then I also started to see how it was manipulated by different religions. But now when I look, and I think there's a guidance in there that, thou shalt not honor or worship false idols. What that's really saying is don't worship the false self. Don't give it such authority. That's where you're going to get lost. Honor your truth, honor the oneness, honor the wholeness of being, the one love that we all share, God's being that we all share. Honor that. And the truth shall set you free. So to recognize that if we're seeking for answers, that we're often moving in the wrong direction. I'm seeking answers. Can you help me? Can you help me? Maybe it's that decision. Maybe it's that thing. We're seeking for the best thing to do or how to act. And we're moving in the wrong direction. Turn the seeking around and simply seek self. Seek the authentic love that you are. Seek to know, to abide, the ground of being. Come to rest in your ground of being, as the ground of being, and you will make all manner of choices and decisions and take actions that are far more in alignment with the unwavering grace of love filtered through your unique soul construct. No, not construct. Your soul being. And one soul is going to be presented with a situation and say, yes, that. And another soul is going to be presented with the exact same situation and go, nope, doesn't appeal to me. Oh, but that, yes. The yes comes through the soul, but we have to learn to listen. So seek self so that self can guide you authentically. All right. Any other thoughts, reflections, questions? I'm going to invite for the last few minutes, just find some stillness within. Stop Bring your awareness to your breath. Imagine that it is your heart that is breathing. Imagine each inhalation is being taken in directly through the heart. And with each inhalation, the heart opens. And the heart is not a container where love resides. The heart is simply an opening, a portal. You can almost imagine that it opens behind you, that there's an opening behind you. The heart opening opens behind you so that the whole consciousness of being can stream through. You can tap into that which you truly are, which transcends the body, mind, ego experience. Breathe from the heart. And there's no efforting here. It's the dropping of all efforting that allows the being to be known. You already are what you are. You already are the simple, pure stillness and vastness of loving awareness, loving consciousness. You don't have to create it. You don't have to fight for it. You don't have to go get it. Just stop. Oh, there I am. Oh, yeah. Oh. Turns out I'm always there. And maybe I'll end with this today. When you allow yourself just to be, and you discover what is often indescribable, but a sense of wholeness or peace or simple beingness, name it. That is not a place that you go. It is what you are. So name it. I am. Oh, there I am. Oh, there I am. That's me. This stillness is me. This peace is me. It's not I go to the peace. The peace is me. Not the individuated self, the oneness, the self transcendent of the personal self, the essential being, the eternal nature of being. Ah, there I am. Oh, home, truth, being, grace. There I am. Why is that so hard to find? Oh, because I get lost in all the opinions, beliefs, judgments, conditioning, programming. I get lost in the stories. I get lost in the noise. And those aren't me. Those will end. And when those end, I am, the shared I, will always exist. The one thing that we all share, You ask anything to talk about itself, it'll start with I. I am. I just am. It's like a blank canvas, and it gets to be colored with a life. And the coloring of the life can be changed at any time, but the blank canvas, it's like a scrolling canvas. It's always moving, always refreshing. It's always pure, it's always blank, and it gets colored. It's like the movie playing up on the screen, and it just gets colored by the life experience. But the essence of being that is being colored by the life experience, the essence of being is pure. It's the pure snow when you take off the orange colored glasses. All right, my friends, blessings, much love. Next satsang will be a Wednesday, so keep an eye out for that. It won't be this coming Wednesday. I think it's the next Wednesday, but it'll be Wednesday, and then the next one will be Sunday after that, and they fluctuate between Sunday and Wednesday, late afternoon, early evenings, because I'm in Bali time and this is my morning, and so that's your late afternoon and your evening, if you're in the States. All right, my friends, much love, blessings. We are one. Don't seek for answers to how to navigate life. Seek for your authentic truth and let that truth guide you in your life. All right, much love.